Hi, good morning. Welcome to Living in the Light. I'm Mary Amy, and I'm coming to you live from New York. And I'm all about shifting away darkness, guiding you to your truest potential, cracking open that beautiful glowing light in your heart. How is everyone this morning? Welcome to the fifth dimension. We're in telepathy school. We're in earth school now. We're tuning into all of our senses and our feelings and our clairsenses, right? And we're mastering some kind of clairsense because we've jumped out of the matrix. Maybe you climbed out. Maybe you ran out. Maybe you kind of just, secretly left. But here we are in the fifth dimension, all of us light beings here. So welcome. Now, this morning when you woke up, what was your first thought? Did you tune into your heart today? Did you have any dreams last night? It's all very important, isn't it? Because it's guiding you to your truest destiny. And so, I don't remember any of my dreams. I don't feel as though I slept enough to have remembered. And, I've been going through something this morning, and I even have tissues right here because I felt all the sadness come upon me. It just like dumped on me, this sadness. And there's nothing really specific I can say. In fact, I feel as though I'm more free than I was yesterday because I went through something yesterday morning and I shared with you that I had an appointment, and it was something that I had to deal with, and I've never dealt with it. And it's taken me years and years. And so it was 2 months that I prepared for this and waited for this appointment. And sometimes, that kind of stuff really drags us down, and you almost feel as though you can't be present. Like prior to this appointment, I kept saying, ground yourself, ground yourself. And so today, surprisingly enough, I didn't sleep enough, but I'm feeling like a little bit of sadness. I don't know how you're feeling. And I know that there's a lot of change going on this new earth guy. And as we ascend, we're going to have symptoms, aren't we? Now, I don't know if you're a starseed, but if you're joining me and I'm a starseed and a light worker, you probably have been awakened. So have you been enduring any symptoms? And they're usually mild. They're more about dealing with your stuff. It's inner work. It's becoming more wise about who you are. And really, it's about really bringing on all your DNA online. And so, it's about DNA activation and awakening. So today we're going to cover topics like DNA activated. Are you DNA activated? And what exactly does that mean? Beyond the solar flash. It's behind us? Well, I don't think so, not yet. However, it is going to be something that we're going to encounter. I don't know if it's going to be a slow process or we're going to just be out somewhere or in our homes, and all of a sudden this big flash of white light is going to cover the whole globe, all 8 billion of us. And then everyone who's not awakened will be like, oh my gosh. And then it's almost like they've had amnesia. They've woken up like that, and then they're going to have to catch up with us because we're the pioneers. We're the first ones out the door. As you watch a race, a horse race, when the horse is the first one out of the gates, we're the first ones out of the gates. We're the first time arrivals. Anyone who's joining us, please like the video and subscribe to the channel. Oh, we already have Shelly who's writing to us. Yes, Shelly, we mentioned that yesterday, the 432 hertz. Our radios have been programmed, I think, since 1975 at 440. However, that's kind of abrasive to our systems. If you can listen to 432, maybe when you're home and you're doing maybe tasks around the house, you can have it in the background. It's very healing to your DNA. And hey, we have Keith. Good morning, Keith. Thanks for joining us this morning. And Alexandra from New York. So Keith, where are you coming from? I didn't write it down on my little notepad that I keep track of everyone. And Raymond, good night. Good night, Raymond. Raymond's coming from Thailand. Well, good night, Raymond. Have a good sleep. You're awakened, aren't you? And then we're going to cover survivors of 2022. Of course, I'll be mentioning angels and psychic phenomenon. So let's get right into it. DNA activated. Has your DNA activated yet? Oh, North Carolina, Twitter, right. So you're in Carolina. My mom lives in Carolina. And so does my brother. I don't really share much about them, do I? And so your DNA. So your DNA has become activated. So your DNA is actually your hereditary material. Nearly every cell in a person's body has the same DNA. And maybe that's why, when they're looking into people's DNA, they can take a strand of your hair. They say take it out of the hairbrush sometimes, or if there's a crime scene, they find pieces of someone's I guess DNA. Maybe it's their hair, maybe it's their skin, maybe it's their blood, right? And so our DNA is becoming activated, or has become activated, and it is activated, and it's coming online. And so your personality is about to change. And why is that? Because your DNA hasn't really all been there for a long time since you were born. It wasn't permitted. And so now that you're awakened, more light has come into your system, your DNA is activated. And so energies become operable, and they're becoming available to you. And your personality is going to be more lovely than it was. And I say that we're sacred beings of light, aren't we? We're multi-dimensional beings of light. And you're worthy, okay? You're worthy and you're lovable. And I say, it's very important to have self-love and unconditional love and forgiveness for ourselves, because sometimes we were highly criticized growing up. And maybe that came through from a parent, or it could have come from a family member, or maybe it was at school. We were programmed in school. Maybe we were told we were something from the beginning, and then we took on that personality. Oh, you're shy. Oh, you're just so aggressive, or oh, you're so something. You're so something, right? And so we owned that. We own that personality. Or you're just a mess, or you're highly sensitive. I was always told, you're such an actress. You're so highly sensitive. Now, was I overacting? No, I was just being real, just being myself. But we were given certain personality traits, and we were told that's what we are. But now that we've awakened, we're here on this new earth, Gaia. Hello, welcome to the fifth dimension. Your true personality is coming online. And so it's very exciting, isn't it? It's going to be available to you. Qualities within you become more apparent. So you might, remember yourself as a child, and you were free, and everything was wonderful, and you were creative, and you spoke your mind, and you were allowed to express yourself, all your interests, all your beliefs, and your truth. Remember that? You were allowed to say your truth. Well, guess what? We're back there again. Here we are, awakened beings. Our DNA is activated, and guess what? We can't help but tell our truth. We can't help it. And we must do that anyway, because then we'll block our throat chakra. When we're not allowing ourselves to be ourselves, we're blocking ourselves from our destiny. We want to keep our eye on the prize. We are the dark horse. We're the least likely candidate to win the race, but we're going to win the race, aren't we? We're going to reach our destiny. You know why? We're going to quantum leap to our destiny, because we are truly going to be ourselves. Our spirit and our heart and our vessel, our body, are all connected now as we've awakened. And so what's going to happen now? Our thinking, our feelings, our distinct character traits are coming online. So maybe you're going to become more generous, more caring, more of a risk taker, maybe more organized, creative, energetic, observant. Maybe you'll become more assertive and speak your mind. Now, I'm not talking about taking over and dominating others. I'm just talking about being your truest self, the best version of you. Maybe you'll become more focused. You'll have razor focus and determined, maybe even funny. You'll have some kind of great sense of humor, and everybody will laugh all the time. And hopefully you'll have fun. You'll have a fun personality, and maybe be a little silly, maybe more proactive and interesting. There's so many characteristics that are coming online about you. Oh, hey, hello, everyone. Thanks for everyone writing in the chat. I appreciate that. I hope you liked the video and subscribe to the channel. So now that our DNA is activated, what's going to happen to the old personality? Well, it's just going to become brighter and more shinier and more impressive, I would say, because you are a highly advanced being of light. Now, technically, the DNA term is known as, if I can pronounce it properly, deoxyribonucleic acid. It's genetic material. So be aware that your DNA has become activated. And now you might endure some symptoms. Maybe you'll get light codes. Maybe you'll experience dark night of the soul, where you have to really acknowledge and really become more aware to everything that's happened in your life. And maybe the things that you sent away or you stuffed down inside of you are going to rise up, and you're going to have to look at it. And you know what? Then you're going to be free. You're going to become more free as time goes on, because you're going to allow yourself to be yourself. And so maybe some of the things that we've done we're not so proud of, but we're going to find balance within us. Now, we know that this is the only thing we can control. We can't control what's going on out there. Now, some of those out there are going to become awakened. And you know why? Because every single day, if you notice, if you look at the media, which I don't, if you look at the news, crisis, 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 I think everyone's getting a little sick of that. And we're finding that those in positions of power are just shoving down our throats everything they want. They don't care if we're harmed. They don't really care, do they? And so it's a little stressful at times, and maybe we feel like we can't express ourselves. And so we're going to have to keep quiet a little bit in certain situations, because we want to survive this. We have to survive this. Now, hopefully you have someone that has like-minded thinking, like we are here together. We're here on this platform together, and we're in the chat and we're sharing, expressing our ideas. Maybe you have those types of people in your life, in your physical reality with you. And so you don't feel alone, because sometimes we can feel alone because we're not conforming. We are rebels. We are the rebels that believe there's another reality, because we know. So this 5-dimension, it's not a location we're traveling to. It's just an awareness. It's a mindset. It's your perspective that you're not going to go along with what everyone else is doing necessarily. Now, sometimes I say you can go out there and people can be advertising or saying, hey, buy these sneakers. These are the greatest sneakers on the planet. You must buy them, and everyone's buying them. So you take a look at those sneakers. And maybe you say, you know what? I'm going to have discernment, but I like those sneakers. And that's completely different when you look at something and you make your own judgment, because we all have what's called free will. We're all sovereign beings of light. That's part of one of the universal laws, that we have to give permission. Now, when I've spoken about evil that's come into maybe your physical reality, maybe your dream state, your astral realm, maybe you've received an impression of something evil coming after you. There's going to be less and less of that, by the way. Less and less, because the matrix is in the dumpster. And guess what? When the matrix is in the dumpster, evil is leaving too. It's diminishing. And so, as we are really realizing everything that's out there and the matrix is in the dumpster, we're going to sense that when evil comes to us, we're going to have personal power, because we are superpowers. We have personal power. And so we don't have to give permission. Evil can't hurt us either unless we're giving permission. And let me remind you about your silver cord when you go to sleep at night. When you go to sleep at night, I suggest that you go to a place of love. And I've been hearing this, so it's not, I'm hearing this from some wise souls that have been activated, their DNA. And they say that evil will attack you in the astral realm through your silver cord, which is your cord of life. It's the life thread. And so it's attached to your chakras and it's out there when you go to sleep. If you go to a place of love, love, love when you go to sleep. So you're going to sleep and you're thinking about loving your heart, all those that you love. You cannot be attacked by evil. Now, if evil comes after you, so evil might be wearing a black trench coat with a black hat, or maybe it's some scary monster. Maybe it's a demon. It's looking for vulnerability, evil, so that it can come after you and it can harvest your energy. It can take your energy from you. So that's why I really say to stay out of low vibrational energies and emotions, which is like sadness, anger, hate, fear. Now, we are going to have some of that. I'm not saying we're not going to experience that because stuff happens and maybe you have an injured heart. However, it's when you stay in that for a long period of time and you just go into a place where you're very down and you feel lost and confused. You want to get through whatever's bothering you and look at what's bringing those emotions up, because guess what? Evil will attach itself to you. Keith's saying being under the radar has been helpful previously. With so many awakening with strength in numbers, it is time to speak up. Darkness is repelled by love. 1,000,000%. Yes, Keith, I agree with you. Thanks for sharing that. Yes, it's absolutely true. You know, there was a time where you felt like, oh my gosh, I can't speak my mind. I have to be like, oh, and you know what? We were taught that, weren't we? Shh, 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 be quiet. Shh, go over there, go over there. Okay, everyone, raise your hand. We just felt very constricted. You know, there was so much structure and it was about control. You know, it's like, get into line all the time. There's no like expressing yourself really. Now, I'm not talking about expressing yourself where you're going a little mad or something, or, you know, it's a mental thing. I'm talking about just, you know, expressing yourself like, this is what I believe. These are my ideas. It was more shh, shh. Now, you could express yourself if maybe you were drawing or you were singing or performing, but most of the time we were programmed. We had mind control in the linear world that we really couldn't express ourselves. So I'm saying express yourself. Like I shared with you the little boy in church the other day. He was very quiet except when this little boy was talking. And I almost was saying, I caught myself. I was going to say, you know, what's going on with the parent? But you know what? He was a little kid. Of course he's want to express himself. You don't want to shut people down. Angie, hey, Angie, thanks for joining us. Thanks for joining us from Georgia Peach. Angie Tillman has her own YouTube channel and she's constantly posting videos, so pay attention. She's a major cook and I wish she was around because that's not one of my talents. Unfortunately, for those in my personal life, they've experienced that that's not really something that I'm great at. But Angie, oh my gosh, she is. If you decide you are safe, you are. Yes. So let's have some mantras. Let's say some mantras. I say, I am powerful. I am brave. I'm courageous. Like yesterday before my appointment, I was like, oh, like when you get into this state where you're just like, you know, you can't even see straight. You have to remind yourself, be in the moment, right? And we say that, be in the moment, because it doesn't really matter what happened before this moment, does it? So we're going to let go of any thought attachments or any belief systems. And we're not going to really focus too much on where we're going, because then we're not going to experience this moment. Like right now, we're here in this moment, in this physical reality, and we're all together. We're light beings here on the planet Earth. And, you know, I'm bringing light and you're bringing light. And you know what? That's how we bring more light and more will awaken. And yes, maybe there's going to be this grand solar flash. And I don't know what's going to happen. You know, I don't know where that's going to bring all of us. What's going to happen in that moment, except, you know, all of this programming will probably be behind us, right? And so the grand solar flash, you know, I always say light on the horizon, and I'm always reminding you that I would have these dreams going back a bunch of years ago, you know, and I spoke about angels, and then for some reason, I was having these spectacular dreams, and there'd be a window, it'd be a rectangle. And in the dream, I'd go up to the window and I'd look through the window and it would be the sun rising. And I guess I knew it was like a premonition of where I was going or what was about to happen. And, I guess it was maybe 2 years ago it started. And then people would say to me, Mary, what are you seeing? What are you seeing? And I'd say, well, I see light on the horizon. Good things are coming. A difficult situation will improve. And we must know that. We must believe that. Because positivity, words, thoughts, actions make a difference. It's almost a little contagious, isn't it? I've been at some jobs in the past. You have to have a job in the matrix or, you can't pay your bills. In fact, right now I'm about to start a new job, I hope. And then I'm going to probably have to change the time I'm doing this, but I'm still going to be doing this once a day. I have to. I'm here. I'm all about shifting away darkness, bringing you to your truest potential and cracking open the beautiful glowing light in your heart. But the solar flash, are we going to get beyond the solar flash? Absolutely. So what's going to happen beyond the solar flash? Does anyone know what the solar flash is? Well, I've mentioned it. If you're online and maybe you're not hearing about it in the news, the mass marketing media, you might not be hearing it on the news. Why is that exactly? Well, no one's going to pay for that, are they? They want to pay to sell their stuff. So commercial, commercial, commercial. And we know what commercials are. It's sometimes subliminal. Sometimes it's right in your face, flashing. Buy this blue mug. It's the greatest mug on the planet. Oh my gosh. And it's very fancy and expensive, this mug. And it's great because of its size and it can hold so much liquid. It's commercial, commercial, commercial. And they're always selling us. Now, is that free thinking or being sovereign? It's more or less supposed to be entertainment. So if you watch the television and you think it's about seriousness, people are paying for that. Advertisers are paying for that. Who's paying for that? You must pay attention to who the advertisers are because they're selling their stuff. It would be like I have a commercial on TV for doing this video. That's how I get more viewers. I'm selling my stuff. So that those are consumers out there. You're a customer, a client. So you really can't take it seriously, can we? We have to say that it's just mass marketing. It's a big advertisement. And then who's selling that? The leaders. The leaders are selling the crisis, if you want to watch the news. So guess what it brings? Fear. You're like, oh, more stuff's happening. I can't take it. And then you feel exhausted after an hour of watching this. Why do we want to feel exhausted? I would like to watch something that makes me laugh, that's something that's entertaining, that's someone that's bringing more of my imagination out there. But guess what? I'm going to say beyond the solar flash, that's exactly what's going to happen. Are you excited for that? I mean, I think the solar flash is going to come. I know that there's solar flares. And so they're intense eruptions of electromagnetic radiation in the sun's atmosphere. The sun is very powerful. For a long time, people actually thought that, the sun was a god. They worshiped the sun. I mean, I guess to an extent, I could say I cherish the sun. I have to go outside on a sunny day. And in fact, days that aren't sunny and be outside. And I have to just be there because that's how we're actually activating more of our DNA, is being in the sun. Keith, yes, great. Take the fantastic poisonous drug marketing. Yes. I mean, it comes through on our social media, and you do know that you can actually tune out on Facebook. You don't have to watch any advertising on Facebook. I was at the gym the other day and some woman said, oh, she was talking about Facebook, and she said, well, all those advertisements. I said, what advertisements? You can go in there and change your settings and you don't have to watch any advertisements. Unfortunately, on the television, you do. So this solar flash, there was something called the Carrington event. I think it was 1857. I want to say, was it 1857? And it was before Lincoln came into office. And so they said there was this Carrington event. And the reason why it was called the Carrington event, it was named after a man who announced it. And what happened then? Well, I believe it was a solar flash. It was something of that sort. And they say that the skies changed all different colors during the day. It happened at 1 a.m. The skies changed all these different colors, and then it was the color of blood red, and it turned off all, they didn't have technology like we do, which really isn't advanced, by the way. The secret space programs and all the programs in the government know that there was free energy back to Taria days, right? In the 1800s and before. There was free energy, and they did that through water. They did that through ether. In the beyond the clouds is ether. They utilized ether and certain metallic towers. I don't know which ones was it. I have to look into that, but we had free energy. And so back when the solar flash happened for the Carrington event, they said all the telegraph systems went offline. That was when you got telegrams, and all the radio frequencies went offline. And I don't know what's going to happen with the solar flash. So if everything gets shut down, let's say all this technology gets shut down, purple, you're right. I had a dream. Oh, so Angie had a dream about, it was beautiful, and it makes me think of the Prince song Purple Rain. I had a dream about this, about the solar 1859. Thank you, Keith. See, you're on top of this. You know all this. We may be better off. Yes. And so you know what? Back then, hey, T, thanks for joining us. Grand Rising from Detroit. Thank you. So we have New York, we have Thailand, we have North Carolina, we have Georgia, we have New York. We have New York, New York, New York. Anyone who's joining us, please like the video and subscribe to the channel. And who else do we have today? Let me see if I can see. We have Alexandra from New York as well. And, I just want to say, so, my sense is, because I've had premonition dreams, and usually, my dreams in the past have shown up at first. For a while, it was like a year in advance. I sense that it's going to happen relatively soon. Now, what does that mean exactly, the grand solar flash happening relatively soon? I would say within the next 6 months, I want to say. And why? Is because so many are awakening. And I'm not saying that the grand solar flash is going to be the savior for us, or there's going to be some big prophet, or there's going to be extraterrestrials are going to show themselves. I don't really believe that those actual events are going to happen until more humans wake up, because we really have to do that ourselves. It's more like it has to come from within. We have to save ourselves. You can't look for a savior. We have to kind of stand up now, eventually, right? Enough of this, like, okay, what does everyone want us to do? Oh, they want, step in line. Let's be robots. Let's be robots following what everyone else does. Seriously? That's like childish, isn't it? It's like, you're a child. Grow up. Like, these people out there have to awaken and realize that, what's happening is they could be harmed. That's why we're going to get into survivors of 2022. I don't want people to be harmed. I want people to wake up right now in this moment. Sooner, yes, sooner. And I'm not saying that out of anger or frustration. I'm not angry. I'm not frustrated. I'm not mad. I'm scared. I'm a little scared for those people out there, those beings of light. I don't want anyone else to be harmed, because guess what? You know what? It's a very difficult world out there. You're rushing. You have to pay your bills. You're under pressure. Time. We spoke of the white rabbit yesterday, which is really a symbol of good luck, isn't it? In Alice in Wonderland, he was always like, I've got to go. I'm in a rush. And that's kind of how we've been raised. Hurry, hurry, hurry. And you know why? It's a distraction. If we're distracted, then we're not going to pay attention. It's like, don't look over here, they say. Like, look over there, look over there. That's why crisis, crisis, crisis. If you look at, It's like if it's not this thing, if there's not this disease going around, this illness, then it's this war, then it's, oh my gosh, an election. Divide. Do you sense that? Because what happens is then there's those that it creates a debate. And then no one's looking at all those who are running things, all those that have all the currency and all the money, right? Isn't it interesting how they seem to last and nothing happens to them and they just get richer and richer and more wealthy? And we are just rushing like the white rabbit. Now we can go down the rabbit hole. That's the wonderful thing about the white rabbit. He went down the rabbit hole. Did you tumble down the rabbit hole and you're considered a conspiracy theorist? Well, a conspiracy theorist really seems to be the being that's more awake, more aware. And that's a way of saying you're crazy. They call the conspiracy theorists crazy. Woo! Unfortunately, everyone's going to find out when some of these events occur, when everyone becomes awakened, like maybe the grand solar flash, coronal mass ejections, solar particles, and other solar phenomenon. So beyond the solar flash, what's going to happen? Well, beyond the solar flash, I believe what's going to happen is we're all going to become telepathic. And that's why here I am talking about our clairsenses. We're going to be using just mind to mind, because that's what was going on before. We have that ability within our DNA. We are highly advanced. You were not told this. You were kind of told you were a little stupid unless you went to and got an education through the system. Have you looked at what's going on in the schools lately right now? It's like a circus. We spoke about Clown World. Do you feel like you go out there and you go, maybe not in your little community, right? But they're putting out some videos and some really crazy, kooky stuff out there, bizarre makeup and clothing and inappropriate stuff for children. I don't really like that. I have a child. I wouldn't have wanted her to see some of that stuff in school. I wouldn't have permitted that. It's Clown World out there. So beyond the solar flash, what's going to happen? Hey, Anne, I'm okay. I didn't get a lot of sleep last night, but here I am because it makes me happy to be here. And I feel really joyful and I'm loving being in this moment. And you know what? It's a reminder of me, a reminder to me, not me. It's a reminder to me of everyone else out there who's awakened. So Ian's coming from Liverpool, UK. Do you have an accent, Ian? And Deanna from Michigan. And we have Keith from North Carolina. And we have Raymond from Thailand and Angie. You guys, thank you so much for joining us. And I hope you like the video and subscribe to the channel. And I love that I'm here with you and we're sharing. So what's going to happen beyond the solar flash? This is getting exciting. I can't wait. Because, by then, everything's going to be in our rear view mirror. We're only going to be in this moment. And what will happen? Collective consciousness. Probably, I would say technology is going to go, pop! It's going to flatline, right? Because if that grandiose light comes on the earth, everything's going to stop for a moment. There's going to be a big, big pause. And everyone all of a sudden is going to wake up and say, oh my gosh, what have I been doing? They've had amnesia. They didn't have their memory. There's like, we've seen in the past, maybe storylines in TV shows or movies and someone's lost their memory. Maybe they had an accident or they had maybe something physically happened to them and they had some illness or an operation and maybe they fell and something happened and they forgot their memory. They forgot everything. Well, maybe we've forgotten our memory until now. And after the solar flash, when everyone becomes awakened and they regain their memory, they're going to say, oh my gosh, what have I been up to? What have I been doing? And they're going to have to catch up. It's going to be an exciting time. And everything's going to be new. It's going to be new beginnings for us, new energies. Everyone's going to focus more on nature and what's in their heart. They're going to tune into their heart automatically. and they're going to feel better, and we're going to become more healthy. And all of the foods out there with all those GMOs, no one's going to eat that anymore. We're probably going to start over, but it's going to happen fast because we're all going to be so much more advanced than we are now, because all of our DNA will have come on. It will be the ascension of mankind. It will be a massive shift across the earth. Massive. And those that were awakened, they had the inability to remember events for a period of time, will wake up, just like we are. So we don't know about the outcomes. And so maybe that's going to bring a little sadness to you. You know, like I said before I came on, I felt like I was about to cry, and that's why I brought tissues with me, because I couldn't even control it. Now, I know sometimes I receive premonitions and it comes through a sensation within me. And so sometimes I have it before Mercury goes in retrograde, or there is a full moon. I don't know if you have that, because I'm very empathic. And so sometimes I get that. Now, as all of your senses come online, you might begin to experience that. And I've told you, the more you work on your clear senses, will not work, I should say, practice your clear senses, your psychic phenomenon, your supernatural abilities, you're going to receive divine guidance. You're going to probably, without even trying, receive premonitions that are going to come through, which are an impression from another source. And maybe your emotions are going to get a little changed up. Maybe, like I said, your personality is going to become activated, and you're going to tap into qualities that will feel more natural to you and authentic. Okay, so before we will not care what happened before the shift, after the shift takes place. Exactly. That's what I'm focused on. Because I know when this grand shift happens, right? When the shifting, this transition, this change that's coming upon everyone, when everyone wakes up, because you know what? Because they've been rushing to the next task, or maybe they've been so crushed, maybe they're so injured in their heart, maybe they had a lot of trauma and they can't see straight. And so even if you nudge them a little, you go, come on, wake up, wake up. Do you see this right here? Are you looking at what's going on out there? I mean, and they still can't see. And you say, oh my gosh, here, you want to help them, and you have to have patience. You have to have a willingness to forgive everyone who's injured you. You have to love everyone no matter what. And as I say, we'll have more unity. You walk out of your home and you hug everyone and you give love to them. And it doesn't matter what they look like or what they have in this physical reality or what job they do, because all of that's going to be forgotten. We're not even going to care what anyone's job is, because I bet all of the structures that are in the dumpster that are gone, they will be gone, terminated. We spoke about the terminated timeline. The three-dimensional timeline is terminated already. It's just not seen physically in the physical reality, in this physical reality. We're not seeing it. It takes time for it to show itself physically. And so what's going to happen during this time, it's very exciting. It's an adventure that we're on, because this time that we have is going from three-dimensional to five-dimensional that we're in. We are going to create with our ideas and our beliefs this new reality. So that's why I say how important it is to have 5 humongous goals. And what is your destiny? Because you are going to be creating the next world, the new earth. And so we are going to feel like it's unfamiliar. And maybe we're going to feel lost like I did this morning. Now, why did I feel that? Why did I feel like I was going to cry? There's nothing evident to me. It might be that I feel the loss of my old life. Maybe you're going to feel that. Maybe you're going to feel like, oh, this is confusing to me. I don't feel like myself anymore. But you're going to have to accept that. You're going to have to accept what this is going to bring, because what we're leaving behind is awful. It's dark. We're going to heaven on earth, guys. And so you're going to have new knowledge and new stuff's going to come up. Waking up is a decision. You can't wake up anyone, but you can assist one. Yes. I mean, you can, what I found is I don't probe anyone. I'm just being me. And so when you have a light that shines, people are a little curious. Now, some people find me to be invisible. They don't even acknowledge me or notice me because they are so much in the matrix. There are those that literally I'm invisible to them. And there are those that have left my life because I actually irritate them, I think. And that's okay. But what I do is I make suggestions and I put it out there. I put that out on my social media, and then people are kind of looking at it. Hey, Mandy, I love your energy. Glad you came into my awareness this morning from Alberta, Canada. We have a new one. I hope you liked the video and subscribe to the channel, Mandy. We have many beings here with us today. We have beings of light from North Carolina. We have Liverpool, UK, which is exciting to me. I've never been to England. I want to go. I plan on visiting every single location on this planet because I am living to 104. And so I don't know how long you're planning on living. I believe that we decide when we're going to pass. It's all our mindset. I'm going to live to 104 at least. 1,000. Okay, 1,000%. You're going to live to 1,000, Keith. So Alberta, Canada. I think I have somebody else that comes from Alberta, Canada. I had someone else. Jody's from Alberta, Canada. You're going to live 1,000 years. God bless. Good for you. Blessings to you. So beyond the solar flash. We are headed beyond the solar flash. So take note and prepare. I'm just, what I'm doing and I'm realizing is I say, where are these topics coming from? So for me, when I bring up a topic, like yesterday I had the white rabbit, and then I've had death grip was yesterday, because I said, do you feel like you're in a death grip? Like in a death grip in your relationship with the rest of the world, and we spoke about gaslighting. I mean, I bring up these topics because for some reason they come to me and then I say, oh, that seems interesting. And sometimes I kind of go back over a little bit, but I'm not meaning to. It's more or less that I'm just reminding us, and that's why with our clear senses, I'm going to go back over information. So let's move on. Now that we have this new knowledge beyond the solar flash, like I said, anyone who's joining us, please like the video and subscribe to the channel. I'm here at 11 o'clock. And if my schedule changes, I'm going to post it. And I don't post until a half hour before I'm going to do the video because for some reason, my social media, they put glitches in. So let's talk about the survivors of 2022 because we're headed into hitting an hour here. And I do want to cover supernatural abilities today. So survivors of 2022, are you going to be a survivor of 2022? Are you going to survive this? Here we have a picture, right? And we look at this and we say, this is what low vibrational energies are. And this is joy and love in your, I guess you could say, in your mind or your being, right? And we want to really promote this. And why is that? Because we want to survive. And your mind is going to help you to survive because it's going to, the way you think, what you believe, you expand your consciousness, you awaken. Now your intuition is going to play into that. And like I say, every decision matters. When you pull out of your driveway, you're going right or you're going left. We want to survive. I'm hoping that everyone here survives 2022 because guess what? Seems as heck like they're really trying to do away with us, aren't they? This depopulation thing that's going on. I'm seeing videos about that. It's like, it's really out there. It's not even hidden anymore. And so it doesn't seem as though anybody really cares if we're okay. And I'm experiencing that, I'm every day there are those out there that they're saying a heart attack, they're saying cancer, they're saying all these illnesses. And why is that? Well, I mentioned the 5G. I mentioned, the rolling out in the last 2.5 years of certain things. And are they part of this? Is this what's going on here? What's happening? And so we must survive. We are going to be the survivors of 2022. Because what do we have? We're in October, right? I didn't even mention the date. We're in October. It's October 21st today. It's Friday. We're in the last day of the work week in the Matrix. We have to survive this. And so we are going to be beings that survive. We're going to remain alive. This is a mindset, right? After all these events that are going on. Because yes, there are some events going on. Pay attention. Pay attention. There are those out there that do not really want us around. Like it's almost like an extermination of a civilization I'm sensing, just like in Tartaria. Tartaria was this unbelievable civilization. They had free energy. They had telepathy. There were giants. Look at some of the buildings across the planet. Where did they come from? They don't make those anymore. They don't make those ornate buildings. Where did they come from? They came from Tartaria. They were highly advanced. So you are a fighter. You have personal power. You have superpowers. You are going to survive 2022. You're going to be a survivor. You're going to cope well with all the difficulties going on. And why? Because your mindset is going to take over. Your mindset is going to believe positivity. You're going to have affirmations. And you know what? If you're feeling down, you're going to rise up out of it. You're going to crack open all that light that's in your heart. And you are going to say, if you're having a down moment, you're going to say, hold on. I'm going to live in this moment. I'm going to have patience. I'm going to let out a breath, and I'm going to see where I want to go. We have to keep moving. We have to have hope. We have to have light. And so, you know what? I've learned just saying words is like an affirmation. So what I mean by that is, let's say you're feeling down. You wake up and you go, oh, I don't want to get up. Everything's horrible. Well, it's going to be horrible for the next 2 weeks if you don't watch out. So you have to say something like, you have to have a good intention. You have to say light, nature, goodness, hope, beauty, happiness, serenity, and throw some positive words around. You don't have to be around it. You say it to yourself. And you know what? It's going to take you somewhere else, because words are a vibration, they're a frequency. And you're putting that out there. So like if you wake up and by accident you go, and you have this very this very, very blah energy, throw some pepper some words around it like love, nature. And I'm telling you, it's going to shift. It's going to shift. And we say about our, what are your thoughts? If you could imagine them in a sentence in front of you, because thoughts are very powerful as well as words, right? And so what are your thoughts? And are you clear that it's not another person's thoughts or from another source? If you're empathic, are you receiving someone else's energies? Because you know what happens, that when we are around other beings, and we're not protecting ourselves with light, or we're not aware, if we're extrasensory, we're going to receive everything. We're going to receive their ailments, their mood. So if someone's a little lost, then you're going to feel a little lost. Be aware. You have all of this. You are a highly advanced being of light. So Keith, the evildoers want you to think that you are under attack. If you decide you are healthy, you are safe, you are loved, you continue to thrive. Exactly. You say, I am safe. Make that a mantra. I am safe. Right? I am patient. And so when you're going to survive this 2022, because you're here with me, so I know you are. You're going to pay attention to all the vibrations that you receive, all the impressions that you receive. You're going to maybe have a notepad with you during the day, because as we work and we practice our clairsenses, which we're going to do today, we are going to be more available to receiving an impression from an outside source. And so you have to know, what are your thoughts? Maybe subliminally receiving others' thoughts. I mean, just like when we're born, right? We're born here and we're told, we're literally told so many things. Please and thank you, three meals a day. You're going to go to school and you're going to, do all these certain things. You're going to get a job, 9 to 5. That's programming. Who says that you have to get a job? What if there's free energy? What if after the solar flash, everything is remembered from back when, our memories come back and all our DNA is activated and we have this superpower? Guess what's going to happen? Money's really not going to be an issue, because we're not going to be paying for stuff anymore. Everything's going to change, right? It's all going to change. So we're going to survive this. We're going to survive it. We're going to be resilient. We're going to be fighters. We're going to be champions. You're going to be durable during distressing situations. And how are you going to do that? Because of your mindset. You're going to survive the unimaginable circumstances. Any illnesses, any accidents. You're going to accept yourself. You're going to have a willingness. Oh, I got buzzing in my ear. You're going to have a willingness to be yourself. The currency becomes consciousness, love, not cash. Yes. Yes. And so you might have what's called survivor's guilt. You might realize all those that did not wake up and all those that, had fear, too much fear, they did not survive. And this is not to bring fear. This is reality. You're going to have what's called survivor's guilt. You will, because you are still here in this physical reality. Now, there's a chance that when heaven on earth comes into being, that those who have passed will come back, the ascended masters. We will see angels, and it won't be in our third eye. We will see angels in the physical reality. That is a possibility. I'm sensing that's what's coming. I don't know how long that would take, though. So survivor's guilt is a sense of deep guilt. 90% of participants survived an event when others passed away, and they reported feelings of guilt. It's called survivor's syndrome, and this is to prepare yourself. This is not to worry and have fear. This is just for you to acknowledge this in your mind, this concept, this idea, because it's a very strong possibility, because there's a lot of evil that really took advantage of their positions. And I don't know how far it extends. So when we find all the truths out, we might most probably will be experiencing survivor's guilt. It's like when there's a plane crash and maybe there's one survivor, that person says, why am I the only one that lived? Or maybe a boating accident, or maybe a car crash. And it's a terrible feeling. And so a survivor syndrome is a condition that occurs when a person believes they've done something wrong by surviving a traumatic, tragic event. So just be aware that that is out there, and that's a possibility that when we survive the 2022, we only have a few months. We were saying we're in October, next week's Halloween. So I have my pumpkin right here. We excited for Halloween. Is everyone dressing up? Do you celebrate Halloween? I'm sure Angie does. Angie probably makes yummy pumpkin pie and muffins and all kinds of goodies. Did you go pumpkin picking, or did you look and go apple picking already this year? I went to the grocery store late last night with one of my very best friends, and it was really late at night. And for me to be going, and she got bags of apples. The big bags of apples, and then you make apple pie. So it's an exciting time of the year, isn't it? So moving forward, let's get into our psychic abilities. Do you have psychic abilities? Of course you do. We all do. We just weren't allowed them. We weren't allowed. We were told that that was silly. That was sci-fi. Is teleportation real? Yes. Have you ever heard of Project Looking Glass or Stargate? There's teleportation, there's telekinesis, there is ionic powers. There's all kinds of fun stuff that we're learning about here, isn't there? And so there are, on the negative note, what have they done with some of this technology? After Roswell in 1947, and, that spaceship crashed, our secret space program took it to Area 51. Have you ever heard of Area 51? And they did experiments on the poor little extraterrestrials there, and they kept them under lock and key, and they did advanced technology and alien reverse technology. Hey, Ian, my daughter is going through spiritual awakening and she reckons she sees dark shadows. Yes, well, what happens is you become vulnerable when you are awakened. You become vulnerable because you're going through a lot of the past, your traumas. And so there's dark energies that come to you. And maybe, like I said, Agent Smiths, which were in The Matrix, the film The Matrix, there really are Agent Smiths. This is all real stuff. A lot of times what they do is they make these plots, and these films are based on real stuff. It's stolen information, basically, that we think is a movie, but it's real life. And so your daughter, I suggest that she imagines light around her. She goes to love as much as she can. The Matrix is a very good film. And we thought it was like, we thought that that's, sci-fi, or they say that that's just, not real. A lot of that is real. I don't bake so much, but I make a spicy Jamaican style pumpkin soup. Oh my gosh, I wish I could have some, Angie. We have to do another video, Angie. So Angie and I did a video. If you look at her, Angie Tillman, who's in the chat right now, if you look at her YouTube channel, I did a video with her. We'll do another one, I hope. And I'm doing also another upcoming video with two hosts called 5D Chat. And we speak about, they're both doctors of Chinese medicine, and we speak about a lot of these mainstream trends and topics right now. And we bring light, from an awakening perspective. And it's Dr. Marsha and Ben who do this with me, if you want to look at my channel. And so let's get into the psychic phenomenon, telepathy. I say that pretty often because I really sense that that's coming forward. I'm receiving information all the time now because I'm really activating a lot of my clairsenses. So what are your clairsenses? Yesterday we did an exercise, and I did it with you, and I know it seemed like, it's a little boring. However, it really helps you, because sometimes we say, I'll do that, and then we never get to it. And then here I am doing it with you. And so maybe you'll get to it. And so I'm doing this and I'm sharing this with you because this is where our world is headed. Like I said, beyond the solar flash, here we are in the fifth dimension. Thank you for joining us. Late time arrivals on the fifth dimension timeline. Well, welcome. It's heaven on earth. Blue skies, no chemtrails or no geoengineering anymore. It's beyond the solar flash. We're in the fifth dimension, right? None of that. We're all awakened to what kind of garbage is in our foods and what is being sent out, and, seeding in the atmosphere, right? And everyone's allowed to farm again. And we all have gardens in our backyard. What kind of weather will we have if they're not messing with it? I'm kind of curious about that. What kind of weather will we have? Because a lot of that is controlled, isn't it? So our clairsenses, we worked on, we practiced. I said, let's come. This is what I do before before I do a video. I always do this because I'm just pulling all of me together, having a good intention, which is a commitment to do my very best. And that's what I'm here for. So yesterday we did this clairsense exercise. And I said, okay, let's tune in. Let's let out a breath. Let's have patience and take away any doubt. Now, whenever, remember when you are doing any clair activity, any, psychic phenomenon, exercise, we want to take away any doubt that we have. We have to let that go. And we are not thinking about any of it. We're not tuning into the visual. We're tuning into the heart. We're tuning into our senses, our hearing, our smell, our taste, our feeling. We did this yesterday. I don't know. And you know what happens when we do this? We're actually activating more and more of these, right? More and more of what we're able to do. So, are you clairvoyant? Have you figured it out yet? What is the clairsense that you're going to master? There's one that you're going to master, and then there's others that are going to follow behind. Now, I said, there's this broad brushstroke with clairvoyance, psychic, intuitive. So that's kind of a broad, right? And then they say a medium, which is now a channeler as well, right? And so the medium, the old time medium with the scarf, I have a scarf today, a scarf, and she's got the crystal ball, she does the seance. Well, a channeler does the same thing. Are you a channeler? So maybe we're going to channel information today. How about together we all channel information? There's also claircognizance, which is your intuitive knowing. And all of this is about knowing. So information will drop into you from another source. Maybe you're going to hear a voice. Maybe you're going to see something in your third eye. Maybe you're going to have a sensation of smell. You're going to smell a perfume or food or something. Like I shared with you, my friend was speaking of her sister, and all of a sudden I smelled and tasted cinnamon chewing gum, and I told her because I knew it was my clairgustance coming in, a sensation. And she said, oh, my sister hated cinnamon gum. So I received that information. Why am I receiving any information during any of this practice? It's because it's a charged impulse. All of our feelings and our emotions are charged. And so that's how we can receive information from a sender. There's clairpresence. Maybe you're going to have spirits come to you. Have you had any dreams lately with any spirits? Maybe you're a relative or a stranger in the astral realm will come forward. All of this is for the taking for you. Any of this is possible. Any of it. So be aware. Be aware. Now you have to learn to separate. And what do I mean by that? So the more that you tune into all of your emotions, your thoughts, your heart, the more you're going to become aware of separating the two. So in other words, you're going to know your thoughts and you're going to know thoughts from another source or thoughts from someone else you're tuning into, because it can create confusion. So let's say you go out today and let's say you say, oh my gosh, I would like to tune into that person over there. I'm going to do a reading on them. I'm not going to tell them. I'm just going to see what impressions do I receive? Now, you're not going to look at what they're wearing, like I say. And so for you, it's personal. Everything when it's related to your psychic phenomenon is personal. And what do I mean by that? I mean that you're personally going to have your own way of having psychic phenomenon. Your supernatural abilities will be just yours. You will have in your tool kit your own psychic phenomenon abilities. So maybe when you see that person out there in your community, or maybe you're standing in line at the store buying some groceries, or maybe you're getting something at the pharmacy. Maybe you're at the gym, or maybe you're just walking around in your community, or you're at your job in the matrix, and you tune into someone. So what are the first steps to tuning into someone? Well, you're going to let out a breath. You're going to allow yourself to have patience. You're going to release any doubt that you can do this, because you can. And then you're going to just be, right? You're just going to be. You're going to make contact with them, and you're going to concentrate. So you're going to make contact. Now, this is where it comes, it's personal. So you're going to make contact with them, and maybe you're going to make contact with their heart. Maybe you're going to make contact with their, one of their senses. Maybe their hearing, maybe their heart, maybe their knowing, maybe their, I don't know, just maybe their mindset. I don't know. You're going to make contact with them in some way, and then you're going to start to receive impressions. Now, maybe it's not so easy the first time you do this, and you're not going to really get that much. And so when I say impressions, what do I mean? Maybe you're going to see a symbol. Now, you have to know to distinguish what's your thought and what is something from that person, that being, that individual. You're going to have to be that aware of what you're doing. Is it complicated? No. It's just allowing it, being open to it, having a willingness. Maybe you're going to receive that they have a puppy dog, a white and black puppy dog. You're going to see the puppy dog. Maybe you're going to get a whiff of something, and maybe you're going to have a memory of theirs. Maybe you're going to know that they have a stomach ache at that moment, because you're going to feel it. So it's going to be something that you're going to know. You're just going to know. You don't need any validation. You just have to accept that you have a willingness that this is possible. Maybe you're going to sense that their brother just visited them. You're going to know something about them. So you're going to tune in. And whatever you receive, maybe you write it down. Maybe you just remember. And you're going to practice this, right? You're going to make sure that you have a clear mind of doubt, no doubt. Okay? But you're going to have a knowing that this is information about them. Maybe you're going to see before you on a screen a story about them. So there's a lot of possibilities here, aren't there? And so we are capable of so much more than we ever imagined, and we are going to survive this. And let's see, what should we do before we go? Should we do a quick ball of light? Because I have to go. And so we're going to rub our hands together. And so I'm reminding you that it's a good idea to take a moment to just relax, maybe kind of go into stillness, and to listen beyond the walls of the room. Go through all your senses like we did yesterday. Your hearing, your taste, your smell, your feeling. And you're going to absorb whatever's going on around you. And you're going to just be practicing this, because all of this is going to help you to figure out exactly what you're mastering. And it's also going to bring you forward to more abilities. And it'll happen quicker than you think. And then you'll be receiving information without even trying. Okay, so your impressions are going to be maybe a symbol, an animal. You're going to see something. Like we talked about remote viewing from you're seeing another location and what's going on there. It's kind of exciting, right? Okay, so we're going to rub our hands together, because I'm tired and I'm going to go take a nap. No, I can't. I have things to do. I'm joking. Okay, so we're rubbing our hands together. We're going to take them apart. Anyone who's joining me, please like the video and subscribe to the channel. Ooh, I feel really strong. This is the way it was yesterday for me. I feel very, very strong energy on my palms of my hands. And oh, wow, this is amazing. I think I've really activated a lot of my DNA. And, this is a way to create energy on the earth. And so maybe you want to cup your hands. Maybe that shifts the vibration around a little bit. And then we're going to bring light here onto the earth, aren't we? And so this helps with our concentration. This helps with our focus. And this is we just never know what's going to happen when I do this. Now, I started by doing this because, I am a Reiki master and I am also a healer. And so I would visualize, when you do Reiki, you're putting the person that you're healing in light, in a ball of light. And so I guess for some reason, I just felt like this is something I should do and bring forward and maybe practice. And it's a way to also bring light onto the earth and awaken more beings, right? Because we're activating. Oh, I have to touch on angels before I go today. Okay, so here we are. Now here you have this ball of light. Now we've done a couple different exercises. We've imagined ourselves inside the ball of light. And when I did that, I saw, and maybe we'll do that today. That's where I'm going to go. We've been outside a ball of light. Yet, like yesterday, we did that. I stood outside of it. And it turned out that I was in a, no, there was others from this chat who was there with me, and we were spinning the light. And somebody here, and I'm trying to remember who, was it Shelly? Someone from yesterday decided to spin the ball of light, and I received that information, and that's what we did. So today I'm going to say that I'm standing in the ball of light, and what do I see inside the ball of light? So let me tune in, and you can do this, or maybe you do whatever you want with the ball of light. Maybe you're imagining it inside of you. Hey, Mary, I've done my Reiki 1 and 2, but I need to get back to it. Good for you. It's really good. It will open you up and also bring more light into your system and light codes. Okay, so I'm receiving a lot of vibration on my right hand. So I'm standing inside the ball of light, and let's see. Oh, so I'm seeing a lot of creatures outside the ball of light. Like I'm talking about, like it looks like a dragon. It looks like it looks like almost when you're underwater and when something's swimming by you, but it's not water outside the ball of light. It's air. So I sense that this means that there are a lot of energies surrounding me that are dark and negative and surrounding, that are present in our physical reality. Maybe we can't see them, but they are there, their frequency, their vibration. But I'm not getting them that they can harm me. It's almost like I'm watching through, like I said, through the window, seeing the sunrise. And so they're traveling, and it's to my left. I can see through. It's almost like there's a window in the ball of light. I don't know what you're seeing. And so in the ball of light, I'm wearing white clothes. Go figure. Let's see. So let me see if I move to the other side of the ball of light, what if I see anything else. So now I'm seeing really dark evil. Like I saw a witch, some kind of scary female that looked like a witch. And she sees me and she's looking right into my eyes through this window inside the ball of light. And it's funny because in the past, something like that really stung my heart, but now I'm just looking at her. It's almost like I'm invisible to her, but she's looking at me. It's interesting. So maybe these energies don't see me and I see them. I don't know. It's very strange, right? So are you standing inside your ball of light, and are you receiving any impressions? So I'm describing, because I've been doing this a little bit longer. And so I might be receiving something that is more advanced than you might because I have stronger concentration, but it's not that difficult. I mean, I've been doing this since 2015. So that's, oh, now my hands are vibrating. So what I'm gathering from this is we're going to be going to a place on this earth, because usually this is a premonition. Send her love. Yes, I do send dark energy love. So I will send and you know when I did that, what happened? Immediately did that. And she just scrambled around and twisted and turned when I did that. And she's trying to get away, but she's stuck. She can't move. And then I got a smile. Interesting, right? So it worked. See how strong your thoughts are? This is my thoughts doing this. It's a charged impulse. So, hey, Tommy, thanks for joining us from the country. Tommy, it's a grand scale today. We have some newcomers. We have Mandy from Alberta, Canada. We have Keith from North Carolina. We have Ian from Liverpool, UK. We have Raymond from Thailand. We have Alexander from New York. We have Deanna from Michigan. To leave anyone out, we have Angie from Georgia. We had a full cast today. It was a lovely, lovely live today. All right, so I'm going to put my hands together, and I'm really glad that we were here today. I'm sending everyone light and love. And, I'll be back again on Monday. Now, like I said, I don't know how my schedule is going to change. Hopefully it'll be, hey, nice pumpkin. We're going to carve that, aren't we? I'm going to carve this pumpkin this weekend because next week's Halloween. We have to start celebrating Halloween. We're going to wear costumes. I have to get a costume. I'm planning on going to a Halloween party next weekend. Halloween. So everyone, I'm wishing good things for you, and I cherish you. You are worthy. You are worthy being of light. There's beautiful light out on the earth right now, and we covered today being DNA activated. Have you activated your DNA? Because we are in the fifth dimension right here. Let's remind ourselves to be in this moment. We're going to quantum leap to our destiny. And what does that mean? It's going to be a sudden burst of change, a transition. And how are you going to get there? How are you going to get to your destiny, which is one of your 5 humongous goals, probably? How are you going to get to it? Well, first of all, you're going to let out a breath. You're going to be in this moment, right? We're not going to have any thought attachments, that big sack of attachments that were attached to your body, that you were giving it life, all the programming, all that junk. We're going to leave it on the side of the road. We're going to let go of anything before this moment. So here we are in this moment. How do you get to this moment? Well, you're going to here we are. I'm touching this mug, right? All about being in this moment. We're letting our breath. And then right here in this moment, you're going to look at and remember and be and think about this dream, this beautiful destiny that you want. You're going to place it right in this moment. Right in this moment. What does it look like? What does it smell like? What does it taste like? All of your senses, your destiny. And then you're going to talk about it like you have it already. And you're going to manifest your destiny. Quantum leap in this moment to your destiny. That is right. That is what you're going to do. Okay? And so we spoke about, like I said, DNA activated, beyond the solar flash, and who are the survivors of 2022? You're going to be a survivor. You're going to have a strength that comes up from within you, and you're going to muster it up, and you're going to survive. You're going to survive 2022. You're going to be durable. You're going to be resilient. And no matter how much difficulty, you're going to successfully survive, right? And you're going to have discernment with all your thoughts. Okay, I'm spinning light. It's time for me to go. I'll be back again Monday, and I'll let you know when that is. I'll put it in the on my YouTube, but also I post a half hour before. So I'm spinning light, and you're in the middle of it, and you're making a wish, right? Because good things are going to happen to you. And this weekend, spend some time in nature, rest, spend time with your interests and your passions. and spend time with a loved one, I'm sending you love. Everyone be well. Oh, angels, before we go, Archangel Michael. And angels are beings of light and love, and they're here to protect humanity. And so they are messengers of God. Be well. Bye.